Hey, how's it going everybody? Taco from Taco Tuesday here, and today we are doing a base build. So today's base build we are going over a cheaper base costing you 20,000 stone, 11,000 metal fracs, and 4,500 wood. Despite its cheap and small stature, I am fairly confident that it will still impress you, which you will experience during the base tour. Anyhow, because it's so cheap to build, it's going to be intended for 1 to 4 players. It also features a ton of storage, and it's fairly easy to build, and difficult to raid. When I say it's difficult to raid this base, I'm not saying it's the strongest base out there, or it's going to be better than all of the clan bases. But what I'm saying is within the 20,000 stone price range, it's pretty competitive. It's probably one of the better ones out there. To put how cheap this base is in context, in order to farm enough resources to build all the necessary structures for this base, you're going to need to hit 20 stone nodes, 18 metal nodes, and 6 trees. Now, take that into consideration. This is obviously calculated with metal tools, but if you were doing it with 1 or 2 people, you'd probably be able to get it done within an hour. Anyways guys, enough talk, let's get on with the base tour. Here we are with the base tour, and you can't lie, this is actually a pretty darn cool looking base from the outside. Anyhow, approaching the front door we have a twig staircase, and underneath it is a stone barricade, so in case somebody decides to break the twig staircase, you have an extra way up to your base. We have our front door as a sheet metal single door, which concentrates the shotgun shots to help kill door campers. It also makes the base look a little weaker through the door, so when a raider comes raiding through the doors, they'll just be bombarded with a ton of garage doors, which you'll see in a second. A few doors in will eventually make it to a drop box, so if you're out collecting, whether that be PvPing or farming, whatever you're doing, and you want to quickly just drop off your loot in the base, you can come a few doors in, drop your stuff in this box, and then eventually, whenever you feel like it, you can bring it up to the top of your base and put the items that are in the box in their proper places. In this base, we'll be using half-step jumps, or door jumps, whatever you want to call them, because in my opinion they are more efficient and more secure. After many garage doors and many jumps, we'll eventually make it to our main room, or our loot room. So this base's main room features an open circular setup. It's always been my building style to have an open loot room. The given benefit is the fact that your base will be a little more aesthetically pleasing, but you will have less protection. However, if you are the type of person that wants to have a more secure base, and I hope that's all of you, a suggestion that would highly increase the defense on this base would be to add 4 garage doors on the edges of where the furnaces are. This would basically split the loot room into 2 equal halves, causing them to use more explosives to get to the other side. Anyways, on to actually explaining the loot room. So on the opposite side of where we entered from, we have 2 unlootable loot rooms. I am using optional reinforced glass, which just forces the raiders to use C4 to get to your loot. If you don't want to use them, or you just don't have the BP, you can just use the window frame, but just make sure you have locks on your boxes. For this area, I just recommend you use it as extra storage, so store any extra guns, resources, meat, just go ahead and dump it here. Over to the left from those loot rooms, we have 3 large boxes which will be used for gearing up. So in here I recommend you store things like meds, tools, armor, and of course, weapons and ammo. Right below those boxes we have ourselves our campfire, which will, of course be used for cooking food. And back here we have the Taco Tuesday special, the roleplay planter, which for some reason if you think you're too cool, go ahead and replace it with a large box. Right over here we have our tier 3 workbench, which, if you have a tier 2 or tier 1, that's okay, it just means you're not as cool. To the left of that we have a few large boxes which are strictly for components and simple resources for crafting. That way you don't have to go digging through your tool cupboard just to find some resources to craft with. Right below the tier 3 workbench we have a few small boxes for any extra components you have. And then back over here to the left below the 2 large boxes we have a repair bench with 2 small boxes to store any broken armor or broken weapons. If you haven't noticed, I built this entire room for conveniency, so all your resources and components are right next to each other to craft items and also repair weapons. And throughout this loot room we have several small bags, which you can of course add more if you wish. In the center of the room, which has probably caught your eye several times, are 6 small furnaces. Furthering efficiency, these furnaces are accessible from anywhere in this room, so if you're at your resource boxes and you just want to dump all the metal that you're smelting in the box, you can access it from the boxes. Or if you're at your workbench crafting weapons or gunpowder and you need some sulfur or charcoal, you can just grab it from the furnace right there at the center. So at this point you're probably wondering, where is the tool cupboard? So I took a different approach to this base, and some of you might have noticed a garage door by where the furnaces are. So this is what I like to call a semi-secret entrance. So how this works is you're going to get a hammer and you're going to pick up one of the furnaces that are blocking the garage door. So I'm going to pick up this one, then you're going to hop down and you're going to open the garage door and you can enter. So it's semi-secret in the sense that most people are going to know it's there because, you know, they're watching this video or they can just blatantly see it. But for those of you who didn't notice it while I was touring the main loot room, it basically proves my point. And believe me, there are some pretty oblivious raiders out there. And here is our friendly optional auto turret, which he will basically just protect your entire loot room and your cupboard. He's optional, so you don't have to have him if you don't want to. So going down the ladder, we come to an unlootable loot room. So here's where you're going to store all of your best loot. So all of your C4, all of your rockets, all of your explosives. And if the raiders want to just target this one loot room because they watched the video, look at this. If they go through this top part, it'll be 1 metal wall and 1 HQM wall. And then going to this side, it'll be 1 stone wall and 2 metal walls. And that's pretty much how it is for the other sides as well. Which means to raid this loot, you're going to need at least 23 rockets, which turns out to be around 32,000 sulfur. Which, you tell me, is that really worth raiding one loot room in a base that costs less than 25,000 stone? Above the boxes I included shotgun traps, so if the raiders decide to go down the ladder even a sliver, the ladder will get shot off and potentially the raider will fall into the pit, and if they don't have ladders or any extra explosives, they're kind of screwed. So my suggestion, keep this ladder at under 20 HP, so hit it with an axe a few times. At the bottom of the ladder we meet our cupboard, which is completely encased and armored. It is also covered by armored glass and has 2 boxes in front of it. The point of this is to remove the armored glass using a hammer, and then in turn you'll be able to access your cupboard. So if you needed to get a little bit of resources in or out, you can do so like that. I also added 2 boxes down here, which I mentioned just a second ago, which you can store any resources that need to be moved in there. I also recommend that you store an extra hammer in the box, as well as a few extra reinforced or armored glass. Next up we have 2 garage doors that leads out to our shooting ports, right over here and right over here. So this is like the first portion of our shooting ports. We have a crescent shaped room which features a lot of things such as bunker windows to safely shoot at people from a distance. We also have a box that allows you to shoot down below. Then we have a door that leads out to our balconies, which gives us a variety of shooting angles. Then of course we have our window to our right and a garage door up here to get to our top floor. And up here we have a ton of boxes and a ton of bags to give to allies that will help defend your base, and the boxes will be used for any extra weapon storage or any extra armor storage. Out this door right here and the door on the other side, we are provided with an extra set of balconies. Like the ones below, these will provide a ton of new shooting angles for you to kill the nakeds on the beach, and they also feature my handy dandy barrel trick, which provides a little crack that you can shoot through, and surprisingly these still work even though I kinda came up with it several years ago. And yeah guys, that's pretty much it with the base tour. Keep in mind that this base only costs about 20,000 stone and 10,000 metal frags. So let me know what you think. Also, if you're enjoying the base build so far, be sure to leave a like because it really does help. Anyways, let's move on with the base build. Okay, so before we start this base build, I do want to say you're going to want to set up a 2x2 or a starter base to get some resources going. This isn't really the type of base where you take your starter and you expand it into a larger base. If you are looking for something like that, be sure to check out my other videos on my channel because I have tons of those, and I have tons of other base builds as well. Anyways guys, let's move on. So to start off this base build, we're going to basically set up our cupboard first. That way it's a little easier because we can expand off our cupboard. So I'm going to be using HQM for the first part of this. If you don't have HQM, be sure to just leave it as stone or metal or whatever you have available. What you're basically going to do is you're going to connect 4 triangles together and then isolate the central triangle pod and put your tool cupboard in it with a window guarded by a reinforced pane on the front. Then go ahead and upgrade the outer triangles. Next, what you're going to do is on every side of this smaller triangle, you're going to place a elevated triangle foundation on the perimeter, so pretty much creating a bunch of trapezoids on every side. Then on the side with the reinforced glass, you're going to place 3 extra triangles like so. If you didn't quite get that, here is an aerial view for reference. Next, on the left and right side, you're going to place 4 triangles like so to make a little crescent. And then of course, once again on the other side. That way our finalized shape looks like this. Then go ahead and upgrade everything to your designated material. In my opinion, I want to have my foundations as sheet metal. Okay, right away we already have a potential weakness to the base. This foundation is the only thing preventing the raiders from getting to that armored cupboard. To mitigate that, we're going to be putting an extra triangle foundation on the outside, which will do nothing other than add protection. And in order to not expose a weakness, we're going to do it on the other side as well. Next, you're going to set up your outer perimeter walls on every single foundation except the additional foundations that we added in the last step. The only thing that's an exception is that doorway right there, so make sure you at least have 1 entrance. Then go ahead and upgrade the outer perimeter walls, so a general note, you're going to want to have the left and right sides as stone and the front and back as metal. I know it doesn't make a difference to upgrade the door frame to metal, but I'm going to upgrade it anyways just to make it simple. Then you're going to add in your 4 armored walls, which will go like shown. Then right above this sink foundation and to the left of that, we're going to place a wall, and same thing on the other side. Upgrade those to sheet metal, and here in a sec I will get into an aerial view, that way you can see what I just did. And that is what it should look like so far. Now we're going to do our honeycomb. So in these 2 chambers right here, the circular ones, you're going to make an X. So basically you're going to be placing 1 wall right there, another wall right next to it, and 2 on the other side. That way it makes, once again, an X formation. The reason why we won't be adding any more walls is because adding a wall right there isn't really beneficial, because if the raider blows from there, they're not really going to blow that middle wall. So to save on resources, I decided just to leave it out. Upgrade the inner ones to sheet metal and then the outer ones to stone, and then do it for the other side as well. Then right in front of the cupboard, facing you, you're going to place 2 walls and upgrade them to stone. Once done, it should look like this. From there, we're going to be adding our ceilings. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to place 2 triangle floors like so, 1 left of the cupboard and 1 right of the cupboard, and then 2 more on top of there, and then 1 to the right of that, and 1 to the right of that. If that was a little confusing for you, and to be honest, I don't blame you, model what's on screen. Upgrade accordingly. Then you're going to want to bring all of the following walls up 1 layer, like shown on screen. And then you're going to want to set up your shotgun trap loot room. So you have 2 ways of going about it. You can do the way I did in the video, which is pretty much just setting up the shotgun traps along the walls. Or you can do what I'm going to do now, which is a little more simpler, and it's pretty much just placing the boxes and then placing the shotgun traps behind. However, if you want to use a low wall, you're going to need to place them on the wall, which is going to be difficult if you don't have ladders. Once you have the setup that you liked, go ahead and top it off with 3 triangle foundations, and make sure you upgrade them to sheet metal. Then right above the boxes, you're going to be placing 2 walls right here, upgrade them to sheet metal, and then in the same exact spot on the other side, you're going to place an additional 2 walls and upgrade those to sheet metal. Basically like so. Then on the bottom left of this chamber, you're going to place a double door frame, and then you're going to place 3 walls like so. That way we get a little diamond shape. Then right above your cupboard, as well as right above your boxes, you're going to be placing a half wall and then a triangle flooring which will house our auto turret. Then next to that recently placed triangle, you're going to place another one. Now we're going to work on our floor jumps as well as our doorways. This is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm going to zoom through this. If the video is too fast and you're a little confused, be sure to slow down the video with the gear icon on the bottom right. Next up, add ceilings in the proper places, and then you're going to upgrade them to sheet metal. Over here on the sides of the base, you're going to add in the following structures. You're going to do a window frame, and then you're going to do 2 half walls, another 2 half walls, and then a door with 2 triangle floorings like so. Then you're going to get rid of the half walls and replace them with low walls. Then do the same thing to the other side. Then you're going to go ahead and upgrade everything to stone. I'm going to be making the low walls metal because in my opinion they look aesthetically pleasing when they are. Then you're going to add in 6 metal walls as shown here, and then 2 walls and 2 double door frames. Then we're going to work on our interior. I'm going to be speeding through this just because I don't want to have too long of a video. Also, a lot of people tend to not follow my own interior design, so that's kind of why I want to speed through this. Once again, you can slow down the video with the gear icon on the bottom right. I'm also going to be posting an unedited version of the interior design in the description, so just stay tuned for that. And also, I will be posting a fortify for you guys to look back on. Once you have your entire interior built up, what you're going to do is you're going to set up your ceilings like so. Make sure you leave openings for your ladders to get up to your top floor. Then you're going to upgrade your ceilings as following. The left and right trapezoids will be stone, and then the center will be metal. Then you want to come over here to one of the openings, and then you're going to place 2 triangles like so, and then you're going to do it to the other one. And then in a way, you're going to kind of connect the 2 triangles with walls, like so. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3. Just like so, and then you're going to remove this wall right here, and then that wall right there to leave room for double doors. Then you're going to add ceilings and upgrade accordingly. And then of course add your garage doors. And then your final step is just to add any of the optional like bags, the boxes, the spikes, and etc. And anyways guys, that's pretty much it for the base build, so if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like because it really does help more than you think. Oh, and also if you regular my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so because it literally just takes one click of a button. But anyways guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one.